So I'm Ryan Lowy from D1 Media Pro, and I'm joined with senior Kaya Schultz and junior Kylie Capstraw. West Orange girls varsity basketball season is over. A very successful season for you guys. You go 11-4. I have just a couple questions for you guys. And my first question was, how was it playing this year during the pandemic? Did you really feel the difference without the gym? Without the gym having spectators?
Well, for me, I didn't play last year, but when I did play, my freshman and sophomore year, we definitely played in some really big games, like the Essex County final and the sectional final, and the fans played a huge part in those games. It was crazy, just like the energy in the gym, and even for the other games we've had, I know the fans have played a really big part, and the gym is always really loud, and it's really fun having the fans there. It was definitely a different vibe this season, but I don't think it affected our play really in any ways.
Definitely still a successful season.
Yes.
Question for Kaya Schultz. What are your thoughts on the conclusion of your final season? Was it all that you hoped for out of the 3 seasons you've played?
It was definitely really fun to come back after not playing last year. And I'm really happy with how we ended our season and our final record. And it was really fun overall. I'm definitely happy I came back. And I think it was a pretty successful season overall.
And now I have a question for Kylie Capstraw. What went through your head after you shot those foul shots to surpass 1,000 points for your high school career at the game versus Immaculate Conception?
I was definitely relieved. I was for the whole
Pressure
season.
on you?
Yes, I knew for the whole season. I know this sounds bad, but for the whole season, I had known I needed 217 more points going into the season. And before the Immaculate game, no, I wasn't usually like I'm a dynamic scorer. There's some games I could score like 30 points, but for the leading up to there, I wasn't shooting well. And I remember just finally just being like, okay, I did it. Now you can you don't have that to look forward to anymore. Like you can just go on with the season.
That was a tough game too, if I recall.
Yes.
In your opinion, actually bouncing off of what you said, what do you think was your toughest game, win or loss? And then what do you think was your easiest game of the season? I think I have an idea for easiest game.
Are you talking to me?
You answer.
Whoever you want.
I think the toughest game was the first university game. I think that was the game where we kind of, originally we were like leading up to that game, we were winning. We were on a little bit of a win streak, and then we play against University, who they're a great team. They're phenomenally coached, and you see, you walk into that gym, and even though there are no fans, it's still this specific atmosphere, and you just know there's a lot of history, and they're a great team, and it showed that we didn't play well. We didn't play our best, but going into that next game, it was great to see.
And you guys got your revenge winning the second game at home. That was
Yes.
big. And tell me if I'm right on easiest game. It was the game where you guys were up by 22.
Yeah.
Absolutely killed it.
That was just ridiculous.
That was interesting. Versus not
I like that in the beginning of the game, so.
It was still a fun game though. It was quick. Yeah. I think it was done in 58 minutes?
Yeah.
It was quick.
It was
And my next question is more general for both of you. Who are your favorite professional athletes? Doesn't have to be basketball, and I'm assuming, Kai, you're going to probably say a soccer player.
Kylie, do you have someone in mind? Because I probably have to think about mine.
I like Serena Williams, and I just think her, she's so fierce, and I love that. And on the men's side, I love Kobe Bryant. May he rest in peace. But I think his mentality. I have a whole picture on my wall that actually says Mamba mentality in my room. So I think I really feed off of his mentality and the lessons that he's taught, and yeah, I like him.
Me, I really am just a huge fan of the whole women's national team, soccer national team. I think they're all just amazing women. Men, I love how Jimmy Butler plays basketball. Soccer players, men is hard to really. I like Christian Pulisic just because he's an American, but they dive a little too much for my liking.
And my next question, what are your initial reactions and/or thoughts after rewatching your games, if you rewatch your games?
I know Kylie just rewatched the game.
Well, yeah, unfortunately.
Which game?
I rewatch all of them, but Kai is talking about how I just watched the last game of the season. When I'm watching the game, sometimes I'm watching with my parents, but I moved away from that because I just we could not do that anymore. But I really, I take notes. I watch film and I take notes and I see like what I could have done, and I see like extra passes I could have made, the shots I could have taken, the steals I should have gone for, like the rebounds. But I really just try to learn, and then once I click out of huddle, I'm like, okay, I'm done. I know what I need to do, and then I go into practice that next day doing that.
And Kaya?
I more just watch film on the teams we're playing. I watch their film before we play them. I don't really look back on our games too much because I don't really like to dwell on my mistakes, and I already know what I need to work on. I more just watch film in preparation for games.
And final question, during the break period between the fall season and the winter season, how concerned were you guys that there possibly wasn't going to be a basketball season, high school basketball season this year? Were you concerned that possibly the governor would call it off?
Well, I had just played my soccer season and that went really well. So I had some good hopes. Obviously it's indoors, so it's a different story, and I know how much it means to Kylie and our team. So I was really hoping we had it, and we did. So that was great.
And for me, although I was really I was really hoping that we would play, but with the way things were going and how things were just shutting down and there were new restrictions every day, I did not know how it was. I really had no clue, and I was uncertain. I didn't think we were going to, actually, because I had been in the gym and they had just canceled like I was working out and they were like, everyone needs to go home. There's too many people here. And I was like, wow. And then for a second when he canceled, we usually go to New York City and play a few games in New York. And then he canceled, you can't go out of state. And then I didn't know how it was going to work.
Yeah, it was quite confusing. People were making predictions and just about everyone was wrong. All right. Thank you, Kai, and thank you, Kylie, for joining me.